Yeah, my plan is to run every race, but if we get 8 or 10 races in and it's not looking good, and yeah, I mean, then I don't know what we'd do. Whatever looks best for our Cup program then.
Let's go Claire and then Dave. Go ahead, Claire.
It's NASCAR Radio. You guys were laughing sort of when you talked about how wild it's going to be here at Daytona, and I saw Martin just break out in a big grin. Good wild, crazy wild, out of control wild, or we're going to love to do it wild. Can you put that in perspective, both of you?
It's going to be wild. It's going to be fun. I mean, I love racing here. You know, here in Talladega are some of the funnest races for us as drivers until you get in a wreck, and then you're just pissed off. And you're pissed off until you come back and hope to finish the next one. Because, you know, it's a helpless feeling to get crashed out on one of these races, especially when you have a good car, you run up front. I mean, anybody has a chance to win these things. So, you know, it's like gambling, really. It's just a lot of fun to do it until you lose.
Yeah,
And
it's exactly like gambling.
Yeah, and you know, so.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys will be thinking about those 43rd, 42nd, 41st positions, 1, 2, 3 points, the first half of the race. I think you'll see, I don't know, I think you're going to see this, a race like I've never been a part of here at Daytona. I mean, it's a different racetrack. It's going to be wild.
Okay, let's go to Dave Rodman, Woody, and then Mark Dakotas. Go ahead, David. Right there, off to your left there, Caitlin. Thank you.
Yeah, guys, Dave Rodman from NASCAR.com. I'll try this question again. Didn't go over so well last time, but talking about the racing you're talking about, racing so closely with your competitors, how do you develop the trust and respect for each other that has to be done? And could you recall a story from the past, maybe with someone, but how does that develop and how do you see that playing out?
Go ahead.
It's just such a dynamic race, and if you're in the middle of the pack, everybody's trying to get a little advantage, or sometimes guys are trying to pull out and cool their engines off or whatever, and there are times where you get put in a position and you realize, man, if this guy behind me doesn't lift a little bit, or if this guy doesn't give me a little space, it's over. And it's pretty amazing how well everyone works together. There have been a few times racing at these restrictor plate tracks where, I mean, I could not thank the guy enough running next to me for realizing what's going on and moving over or giving me a break. And, I've only been doing this for 5 or 6 years now, but it seems like everyone's just getting better and better at giving and taking at these races. And, that can all change in an instant. A guy will leave you out or bump into you or move you, but for the most part, that doesn't happen until the very end.
Let's go to Woody Kane, Mark Dakotas, and then...
He wanted me to answer part of that.
I am so sorry. Martin Truex, go right ahead.
Okay. I think the biggest thing about it is nobody wants to crash. So everybody tries to do the right thing most of the time, 99% of the time. White flag comes out, that's when nobody lifts, and that's when you see, things happen. My opinion.
Woody Kane, Mark Dakotas, Holly Kane. Go ahead, Woody.
Woody Kane with MRN. Carl, at the end of last season, understandably, you talked a whole lot about momentum and the way you finished and carrying that over into this year. Can you describe how that might work into something tangible as opposed to just a feeling? How can you carry that momentum over and translate it into something on the track?
First of all, I had to come up here and tell Martin I really appreciated him getting that flat tire, because I think I would have finished second at Homestead. But the way we finish the 2010 season is the way we'd like to run all the time, and I feel that the way our team is structured right now, we're set to have one of our best seasons for Roush, for all of the Roush teams, including ours. So I'm excited about it. I don't believe much in momentum. I used to not, but now I understand how it works, and I'm hoping to capitalize on that for this season.
Mark Dakotas, Holly Kane. Mark, raise your hand, please.
Mark Dakotas, Florida Today for Carl and Martin. Have you noticed any difference with the new splitter so far, and what kind of difference do you expect as the season goes on? Thank you.
I haven't seen a big difference in it yet. Again, we've only done a little bit of testing with it. We haven't, obviously raced it yet, and I think we'll learn a lot about it this afternoon. We get in the draft. I think a lot of things will be different about the way the cars pull up and are able to push cars in traffic, things like that. So We'll have to just see what happens. In the testing we've done, it hasn't been, like I said, it hasn't been a big difference. It's a little bit more solid when it hits the ground, I feel like, but very similar. And I believe that the stuff that we've seen from the wind tunnel is very close aero-wise too. So.
Yeah, and I haven't done enough testing with it. I just think it looks great, and I mean it looks a lot more like the cars we drive on the street. And I think that's good.
Let's go Holly Kane, and then we'll take a question from the teleconference. Go ahead, Holly.
Holly Kane, AOL Sports Fan House. Either one of you, you're talking about it being wild, and other people have said, that the racing is just going to be, crazy and all. You could make an argument that it's already been like that at Daytona. Is it possible for there to be an appreciative more amount of wildness here? I mean, is it going to seem that much different or that much more than what we already have in restrictor plate races?
Well, it's going to be more along the lines of a Talladega race. There's going to be no stringing out. There's going to be no handling where guys have to start lifting and, it gets double file and then it gets single file. The long runs, the pack's never going to get spread out. It's going to, green flag pit stops may obviously come into play a little bit, because that tends to, make 2 or 3 different packs. But if everybody decides that they're going to race and try to stay up front and not, lay back and try to save their stuff, it's going to be a big, huge pack, and everybody's going to be in it all day long, and it's never going to, it's just never going to separate. So it'll be constant, 3 wide, 4 wide. There will be no chance to catch your breath and relax at all.
Let's go to the teleconference. Go ahead.
Our next question comes from Jeff Brickfield from Johnson City Press. You may ask your question.
Sort of a two-part deal. Bristol will be the first short track on the circuit. How do you prepare to race at Bristol, say, versus training at the other tracks? And then the second part of that is try to describe what it's like to be in the middle of the action at a Bristol race.
Go ahead. You go on there.
In the middle of an accident where?
You guys get that?
Yeah, he's talking about Bristol will be the first real short track race for the season. Talk about that, the action. What's it feel like to be in the middle of a race at Bristol?
It's always strange to go from running the super speedways to your first short track race of the season. Things happen a lot quicker. It's a lot different style of racing, and Bristol is just fun in general. It's one of the most exciting racetracks we go to. The fans love it. The drivers love it. It's really neat to be in a good race at Bristol because there's just a lot going on. It's really fun as a driver.
How about from Martin's perspective?
Yeah, I mean, Carl kind of hit it. It's just a really exciting place to race. The pre-race is, just incredible. You really feel the energy of the crowd, the stadium kind of feel around you, and obviously a great place to race, especially since they redid the racetrack. You can run the top, you can run the bottom, you can run the middle. So it's a really, really fun place to race for guys that came from short tracks, which we all really did, and we all really enjoy that kind of thing. So it's awesome.
Final question in the back. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, this is Brent from Fox in Jacksonville. I know just looking out on the track, it's so smooth just looking at it. When you guys get out there, did you miss the bumpiness, the integrity of that old track?
A little bit. Yeah, I mean, I liked the old Daytona, but obviously it was, there was holes in it, so it wasn't good enough to race on. This is going to get bumps in it too. It's just going to take a little bit of time. The track hadn't been paved since I guess it was like 78, 79 or something like that. So it's going to wear out. We're in Florida. It's going to turn gray. It's going to wear out. It's going to lose grip, and it's going to get bumpy as it sits. So it's it's cool that racetracks change as you come back to them each time. It's a constant moving target for us, and it's a challenging thing. So it's fun.
Yeah, and I thought the neatest part was they sent us a piece of the old racetrack. I don't know, that's pretty cool to get in the mail. I mean, to think of everything that happened on that old pavement and to have a piece of that at home was really special. But it's definitely a new day, and the track is, I mean, the paving job is as beautiful and perfect as it can be. I mean, I know we've answered a number of questions about the racing, but I just think we all agree it's going to just be one of the most spectacular Daytona 500s that I'm sure we've been a part of.
Martin, Carl, we thank you for your time. We wish you all the best during the test and good luck during Speed Weeks and at the 53rd running of the Daytona 500.
Thank you.
Thanks.